Hey folks, welcome to another Fitness Friday Positives with Rachelle. Last time I highlighted the importance of choosing happiness, and I'm going to wrap up this particular series on choosing happiness this time. And last time I shared the most recent Rachelle's PF Adventures of Rachelle's Planet Fitness Adventures to the Milford, Michigan club. And I told you how I ran into a lady who recognized me from Powerhouse Gym in Novi and how happy she and her husband were. And so, folks, that can be you. You can be happy. And I also shared how I completed that member survey, as that had been my second visit at that particular club. And I'm also happy to report that the general manager, John, actually reached out to me, left me a message, and I called him back, just, expressing his appreciation for my feedback and just all of that, and just really complimented his team. And so that's always just great to see. I always appreciate seeing leadership again recognize their people and just really work together as a team to make things happen. And so, folks, I'm actually going to wrap up this series with more Rachelle's PF Adventures. I mean, it's just I've historically always done this, and I always visit different clubs. This is a unique situation, obviously, since I joined Planet Fitness last June, in that I'm able to go to different clubs, and so it's a unique experience for me within the franchise. Obviously I'm going to different gyms and clubs and things like that, private clubs, university gyms, all of that, commercial gyms, church gyms, just community gyms, but just staying within the particular franchise has been something that has just been so enlightening, and I am just enjoying it, having a ball, and learning so much, so much, and just continue to be inspired and impressed with everything that I see. Just these folks working hard, making things happen, really striving to bring that brand promise, the Planet Fitness brand promises to life in their particular clubs. So always great to see. But last time I talked to you about also how I went to Chicago. So April 18th through the 20th, that was Chicago trip number one, back to campus, Northwestern University in Evanston, which is north of Chicago. But I also went back. So May 2nd through the 4th, went back to Chicago, took the train again, had an opportunity to stop in and work out at the Dearborn, Michigan Avenue location again. And so actually when I walked in, it was interesting, and I noticed the shades. I noticed the window shades, and that made me smile when I saw that. You're like, well, Rachelle, why are you smiling about window shades at 4 something in the morning before you work out? And that is because of window shades. Very, very important. Number one, particularly during the summer months, they keep the sun out, because again, folks, sun in, hot gyms or smelly gyms, and it's just not a good situation. So window shades, particularly for those gyms that either face the direct sunlight, or they've got, floor to ceiling windows, where again, that's just the opportunity is going to be maximized for the sun and things like that to come in. Huge. So keeping the sun out, keeping the temperature at a nicer place is just great. But also too, from a privacy standpoint, having those shades down, because you've got just creepy people, and it happens all the time, where people just stand in the window and watch people work out, and just all of that. So I mean, it was just so cool to see those window shades at that particular club. And also when I walked in, of course, I walk in and I'm like, okay, I know Purple Pride is in here somewhere, and that's the one that wears the purple shirt with the long brown hair. I'm not sure what her name is, but she was attacking the bathroom again. You'll recall on that particular episode where I highlighted this, the last time I highlighted this particular location, she was also cleaning. She was vacuuming around the front area, the front desk area, but this time she was attacking the bathroom again, and was changing the shower curtains and vacuuming and mopping and doing all this stuff in the bathroom. And I'm like, what are the odds that I come back into the same gym around the same time and it's the same thing? But that lets you know it's a behavior that's consistent. That's something that's happening all the time, each and every day. So was always great to see. Actually saw Matt on my way out, and he was walking, and looked like he was on a mission. And I thought to myself, okay, he looks like he's about ready to clean. He's about to get started and clean his heart out again. But I thought to myself, now, Purple Pride has been in here cleaning her heart out as well. So, it just was great to see. And it's just so wonderful when you think about, again, you've got a major entrant coming into that particular market, the Dearborn, well, actually all of Metro Detroit with Crunch Fitness, but they've got Planet Fitness, 2 different locations in Dearborn. So seeing just the commitment and the work ethic and all of that is certainly advantageous to them is great to see. So that's why I always like to highlight different clubs and different locations, and that's part of the reason why I do these Rachelle's PF Adventures. I mean, yes, I could sit here. You all know my club is wonderful. My home club is wonderful in Commerce Township. Wonderful. That's great. But as you all saw, the powerhouse and any gyms before that, I can't just sit here and talk about my same gym, my own gym every week. That's a commercial. All right. Didn't happen before, won't happen now, but the lessons are certainly there to be learned from my visits to other clubs, because Fitness Friday is very popular with different franchisees. And so always have to be respectful and have to be objective, can't show bias, but had a great experience at that club. So get to Chicago, folks. As you heard me talk about my last trip to Chicago, there's always the issue of taking public transportation because I don't drive and all of this. So you're walking everywhere, and I'm walking around campus and all of that. So I actually found a club, a newer club that opened up in Chicago, 3636 North Broadway. So I said, oh, this is so cool. This is great, because I worked out on campus last time because, it was just some logistical issues. It just didn't work out for me to go to a Planet Fitness club. But I worked out on campus, but this time I said, I'm going to a Planet Fitness. So found this club, was so excited. It was actually 0.4 of a mile from the train station. I said, this is so cool. This is so awesome. And then, so Wednesday night, the 2nd, I'm reading the reviews as I'm planning my workout, just what time I'm going to leave and all of that on Thursday morning. So I'm reading the reviews, see some good reviews, but also see some 1- and 2-star reviews, which for a newer club, I'm like, what's going on here? So there were, long story short, people were complaining about the Wi-Fi. People were just whatever. And so I said, well, that's not really a big deal to me, whatever. But what did get my attention was this particular review, and I'm going to have to fly through it in the interest of time. So Olivia T. wrote a review for that particular club on February 4th. I joined this gym, and in less than a week, I canceled because of Brittany's horrible, appalling customer service. At first, all of the staff that I interacted with seemed very friendly, approachable, and professional, but this all changed when I met Brittany. I was working out very late during the week, and it was probably around 2 a.m. There were approximately 2 other patrons in the gym. Brittany came up to me with a very disgusting attitude and told me that I had to put my coat away in a locker. I didn't bring a lock, so I kept it right next to me. There was a Caucasian male walking on the treadmill right by me, and he also had his coat with him and a big backpack. Brittany walked right by him several times, and she did not say anything to him at all about putting his coat and backpack away in a locker. I was extremely pissed and horrified at such a blatant act of discrimination. If you are going to enforce rules, you need to enforce them with all patrons. I asked to speak to the manager, but they were not on duty. I complained to the worker at the front desk and tried to call the next day, but their phones were not working. I was really excited to join this location, but I will not tolerate disgusting discrimination and disrespect from Brittany. Someone needs to speak with her immediately and teach her how to properly treat customers. What a terrible experience that could have been easily avoided. If you are going to ask me to put my stuff away, you also need to ask the Caucasian guy right next to me. Discrimination in 2018. So I read that and was like, okay, well, not going to that particular location. So made a decision, okay, well, I've got to go to the Evanston Club. I actually stayed in Evanston, which is actually the city or the home of Northwestern University. Got to go to that club, but the problem is it was going to be a 2.3-mile walk. Now, it was a straight shot going west, 2.3 miles. Long story short, I'm not a fan of just walking and running and all that kind of stuff outside, but long story short, Thursday morning, left out, schlepping my stuff, walked to the gym 2.3 miles, and I'm walking and I'm sitting here telling myself, now this is crazy. I can't believe I'm walking this far, and this gym is small. What in the world am I doing? This isn't going to be worth it. What a joke. And so, folks, long story short, and I think there's a great lesson in this, again, of judging a book by its cover. Because I knew that this gym, I looked at reviews and I looked at some of the pictures of the club. I knew that this particular club was smaller, and I have an affinity for larger clubs. But, so folks, I walk into this club and I'm just literally thinking to myself, wow, this club is small, because it's been a while since I've been into a smaller club like that. But was so impressed. And I'm going to have to fast forward through all of this, but towards the end where I saw this, again, it's a very small club, but they did an excellent job of maximizing the space that they did have. Because, again, real estate in Chicago is very expensive, particularly in Evanston, which is close to Lake Michigan. So, stretching area, sectional stretching mats. So, essentially, if you don't know what that is, it's like a block of 10 mats that are about this thick, it's all one piece. So, an excellent use of stretching space. Reminded me of the Crunch Fitness format, but awesome stretching area. I did a full stretch. I was so excited to see those sectional stretching mats. Great use of stretching area. But also then went to the shower and I saw those shower stalls, folks, and I was like, is this the Hilton Chicago Airport? I mean, just bathrooms, those showers were so nice. And actually in the floor, they actually had drain covers, decorative drain covers, and they were like in the shape of rocks, but they were so cute. But I thought to myself, a couple of things. Yes, it's cute and it's decorative, but also number two, liability mitigation for slip and falls. A lot of slip and falls happen in gyms, particularly in gym showers. And I just thought that was an excellent idea. But anyway, nice showers, again, with closing shower doors, the frosted ones that you see in hotels. I mean, just so cute. But folks, also the 15-minute hydro massage. 15 minutes. Their default is 15 minutes on the hydro massage beds. I mean, that just about freaked me out. I was just, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Was so excited. Was so excited. But also, lastly, and I want to close out this episode because there's a lot of different things. I mean, I've learned a lot from Planet Fitness. You know, the type of work that I do, consultant, trainer, speaker, and all of that. But the customer service, I mean, I've learned so many phenomenal lessons on customer service from folks at different clubs. And it's just continue to be amazed and inspired and just so impressed by what I see and what I experience. And so, folks, Erica at the front desk. I get there, I check in, I'm kind of going a little backwards, I know, but I wanted to highlight this last. And so, you know, I just walked from campus and I told her I kind of set my stuff down. You know, I just walked from the other side of Main Street, whatever, yada, yada. Long story short, as I'm leaving to head out, she has mapped out bus routes for me to take the bus from a close bus stop to get back to campus. She had mapped out 2 routes and she said, well, I found a route that's actually shorter for you walking, so it'll be faster and you won't have to walk as much. She tells me, come here, and pulls around that computer screen and says, okay, so here's where you're going. We're pulling up Google Maps, the walking directions, 0.5 miles from here, you go here, you go here. And I want to pull up some landmarks for you. So she pulls up the Evanston Auto Care, and this is exactly right where the bus stop is, so you know exactly you're in the right spot, yada, yada, yada. But was so impressed. She didn't have to do that. She was working by herself. She's cleaning, checking in people, doing all this other stuff, helping people with different things, but made me a priority in terms of my not having to walk and have to just deal with all of that situation. It was kind of rainy and muggy and all of that outside, but was so impressed. And I do have I have a rule where typically I like to visit a Planet Fitness club twice before I write a review, but I made an exception. I made a definite exception. Did not let my head hit that pillow. Thursday night, the 3rd of May, and I wrote I did a member survey, and I wrote a very detailed account of what happened and how much I appreciated it, just her commitment to going above and beyond in customer service, but also, again, just those showers, which were just awesome. Also that sectional stretching area, those mats was awesome. But I kind of told myself, Rachelle, you're at Evanston. When I was sitting there on that 15 minutes on that hydro massage bed, where the standard for Planet Fitness is 7 minutes, and I was thinking to myself, Rachelle, is this really, I'm sitting here waiting for John Quinones to come in here and tell me, like, I'm going to be on an episode of What Would You Do? Are you kidding me? 15 minutes on the hydro? But then I kind of had to think about, Rachelle, think about where you are. You're in Evanston. Even this franchisee recognizes that you're dealing with an elite institution. You've got professors, alumni, faculty and staff, and all of that, students that are utilizing this gym. They've got to go above and beyond, again, to maintain a competitive advantage. And so was so impressed, folks. But yes, it's almost been a year. I joined Planet Fitness on June 26, 2017, June 28, 2017. Canceled my Powerhouse Gym and Novi membership on July 11th, 2017. So it's almost been a year. But folks, I have no regrets. I have absolutely no regrets. Yes, did I give up a lot? I had a 90-second commute to Powerhouse Gym. The breadth and depth of the gym was strong. In terms of just different ellipticals and cardio. They have my pre-cores, they have my octane, they have my stretching. There's just so much. I definitely gave up, but also I have gained a tremendous amount. I'm just so impressed by what I see, by what I experience, by what I learn, and just their commitment to, again, making me feel valued as a member, and just going above and beyond, and just so impressed by the work ethic that I see. And so, folks, but happiness, as I open it with, happiness is a choice. Happiness is the decision that you are going to have to make. So if you're unhappy in your group fitness class, if you're unhappy with your trainer, if you're unhappy at your fitness facility, you've got to make a change. Do not be afraid of change, because change is truly what opens the doors to better opportunities. I think in life, people get afraid of, oh, I don't know. Well, I know this gym and it's close by my house and this and this and this and this. I mean, yes, I was in a unique situation where I was at Powerhouse Gym in Novi for 5 years. I had the support and respect of the franchise founder who actually owns that particular location, William Davish, who was a Facebook fan of mine, not just on Fitness Fridays, but also every day during the week. So he was a Facebook fan of mine. And I know it was hard for me to leave and go to another gym. But also, again, it's all about happiness. It's all about choosing happiness. And that's certainly a theme of my life. And that's something that I do over and over again. I'm constantly asking myself, am I happy? Is this the best I can do in this situation? Can I do better? Can I do better? All right, so you've got to be willing to ask yourself that question, but also recognize change starts with you. Happiness starts with you. Don't externalize it saying, well, at this, I have a bad trainer and I have a bad group fitness class and I hate this and I hate that. No, it starts with you. You've got to accept and take responsibility to make sure tomorrow is different from today. And lastly, and I promise, I want to close out with this particular quote. Leonard Mlodinow actually gave a lecture at Northwestern, and they gave out these books and all of that. And so in this particular book where he's talking about elastic thinking and change and all of that, but I just want to close out this episode with this particular quote because it relates to choosing happiness. In life, once on a path, we tend to follow it for better or worse. What's sad is that if it's the latter, we often accept it anyway. Not because we're afraid of change, but because by then we are so accustomed to the way things are that we don't even recognize that they could be different. Folks, different is possible. Better is possible. Happy is possible. But it starts with you. So take that first step, no matter how hard it may be, no matter what sacrifices you may have to make or give up. I promise you, if you trust yourself, if you trust the process, if you trust what may be on the other side of what you're experiencing now, happiness on and during your fitness journey awaits. Folks, May 17th is my 24th fitness anniversary. All right, I call it gym fitness anniversary. I've got a lot of lessons that I can share, and I've certainly shared along the way. I continue to share. But happiness, you've got to be happy. You've got to be happy with where you are, who you're doing it, and what you're doing. Who you're doing it with and what you're doing. Otherwise, you will fail. You will give up. You will struggle. And I don't want that to be you in 2018 and beyond. Thanks so much for your time. Make it a wonderfully fit day.